In this video, we're going to talk about how to add to signed numbers. We have two rules. Rule number one, when we add two numbers with the same sign, because we have the sign numbers that we could have a positive sign, plus, or a minus sign. So if these two numbers have the same sign, both plus sign, like in this example, or both have minus sign. So these are the first case. We're gonna use rule number one. We will keep the sign. So for example, plus and plus, both the plus, we will keep it as plus. And minus, we're gonna keep it as minus. And so first we determine the sign of the answer, and then we're gonna try to find out what the number is. And then we gotta add the absolute value of the numbers. So absolute value, we know that means to get rid of the sign. So if we say positive 6, it's pretty much, we can think of it as 6. Absolute value of positive 6 is 6. And absolute value of positive 3 is 3. So we add these two numbers, 6 and 3, we'll get 9. And similarly, we can use the rule, first rule, to do the second example. We keep the sign, negative plus negative, we still get negative. And then we found the absolute value of these two numbers. Absolute value of negative 6 is 6. Absolute value of negative 3 is 3. So pretty much just ignore the signs in front of them, and then we add them, because the operation says addition here. And I mean, not because of actually the operation, it's because the rule. So we add them. And we can kind of use a real life example to explain why we keep the sign and why we add them instead of subtracting them. Okay, so a positive number, we can think of it as a credit. So a positive 6 means we have a $6 credit in our bank account. And then positive 3 also means credit. So we have a $3 credit in another bank account. When we add them, combine them together, we're going to have still have credit, because credit plus credit is still credit. So combining the two credits in your two bank accounts, you're going to get a larger credit. So as we can see, that credit means plus, so that's why we keep the plus sign. And larger, in order to get a larger number, you will have to add the two numbers 6 and 3 to get 9. Okay, so similarly, negative 6 actually means debt. So if we have overdrafted by our bank account $6, and then we overdrafted another bank account $6, so we will have debt plus debt. We're gonna get larger debt. Okay, so together, the answer, after we combine the two debts, we still get a minus. We still get debt. And so that's why it's minus. And because we get a larger debt, so we got to add the two debts. We have $6 debt and $3 debt. We get 9. So larger means you're going to add them. And well, you may think, well, because it's plus, we add numbers, but not always, because now we have negative numbers now. So if you look at the next two cases, for these two, we're going to use rule number 2. Well, so rule number 2 says when we add numbers with different signs, so take a look at these two examples. The first number is plus, second number is minus. The first number is minus, the second number is plus. So they all have different signs. Well, if they have different signs, then we have to decide which sign we're going to use. So we're going to take the sign of the number with the larger absolute value. So pretty much compare the numbers 6 and 3. Well, of course, 6 is larger than 3. That's why we're going to take the sign in front of the 6, which is plus. And similarly, when we take absolute value of these two numbers, we get 6 and 3. We're going to, 6 still is greater than 3, so we're going to take the sign in front of that 6, which is minus. And next, so take this sign, and we take this sign right here. And next, although it says addition, you're not going to add 6 and 3. You actually have to subtract them. And why is that? We can also use the real life example to explain. So $6 means we have $6 credit $6 credit, and then we have $3 debt, or say you owe somebody $3, and so in this case you can use the $6 credit to pay your debt $3, and after you're gonna use $3, and that means you still have $3 left. So in that case we do 6 minus 3, we still get 3. So we do 6 minus 3 to get that 3 there. Okay, and similarly here, if we have -6, which is $6, if you owe someone $6 and you have $3 credit, and so your $3 is not going to be enough to pay the debt, and that means if you use all your give somebody $3 and you have nothing left, but you still owe this person $3, so you're still in debt. So that's why we are gonna still be in debt, negative. But in the previous case, because you have more credit than debt, so you're still gonna be have some credit after you pay your debt. You still have some credit left. And the next, because you have $3 credit, you use that $3 to pay someone, and you only owe this person $3, and so that's $3 debt. And this 3 again, it comes from 6 minus 3. So that's why we gotta do subtraction. So be very careful here. Although it is an addition problem, because of the minus signs, you may have to do subtraction. But it doesn't mean when you see minus signs you always have to do subtraction, because in this case, if they are both negative, you actually gonna add the 6 and 3. So the rule says same sign, keep the sign and numbers, do addition. And different signs, you pick the sign of the larger number and then you subtract them. You do subtraction. Okay, so addition problem, when you have sign numbers, sometimes we add, sometimes we subtract. So it depends on the signs in front of them. Okay, so rule number 2, when you have credit, one positive, one negative, it's like when you have some credit and some debt. And if you whether if you end up with credit or debt depends on if you have more credit or more debt. So if you have the first case, we have more credit than debt. So after combining credit and debt, you use the credit to pay the debt, you still have credit. But in the second case, we have more debt than credit. So your credit is not going to be able to is not enough to cover the debt. In that case, you still end up with debt. Okay, so you can remember the rules, or if you forget the rules, and you can use a real life example, credit and debt, to help you to remember what the signs we should take and how if we should add or subtract the numbers. Now next we're going to look at example with 3 number. If we add 3 sign numbers, so -5 plus -3 plus +7. Okay, so if we follow the order from the left to right, we're gonna add these 2 numbers, and because they have the same sign, I'm going to use rule number 1, which says same sign, we're going to add keep the sign minus add 5 and 3, that's 8. So we get -8 plus, we're gonna copy the second operation plus, and the third number +7. Now we're going to do addition again, and this time the signs in front of them are different, so we got to use rule number 2. Pick the sign of the larger number. 8 is larger, so let's pick a negative sign and subtract 7 from 8, so you get 1, because we have $8 debt. The debt, $8 debt is more than $7 credit. How much more? It's $1 more. So we do subtraction.